It is an honor to be with you today. I'm John Rose, and it's my great honor and privilege to represent the 6th District of Tennessee in the U.S. House of Representatives. And in case you didn't know that, you're sitting in the 6th District of Tennessee. So welcome to the 6th District of Tennessee. I am a Christian, a husband, a father, a farmer, a small business owner, and a very, very determined and proud supporter of the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution. And it is great to be among like-minded people this morning. And it has been my pleasure, I should say this afternoon now, I guess, but it is my great pleasure to be with you again this year. I remember well, and some of you I know attend this event each year, and so you were here last year when our guest speaker at this event was the now Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, who sat just right down here. And I know many of you got the opportunity to visit with Secretary Hegseth, then in the a private citizen, as he was here as our speaker last year. As it turns out, I got to spend a little bit of time yesterday with Secretary Hegseth as President Trump signed an executive order changing the name of the Department of Defense back to the Department of War. And as Secretary Hegseth said, the Department of War will communicate maximum lethality, not tepid legality. He went on to say that it's not about renaming, but restoring America's ability to deliver the maximum penalty to those people who threaten freedom and liberty around the world. And so it is in that spirit that I wanted to mention Secretary Hegseth and the great work that he's doing and the interrelation that I see between what President Donald Trump is doing to restore the greatness of America and what you are doing and the Tennessee Firearms Association is doing by standing up for the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution. You know, the Second Amendment is just 27 words long. Probably many in this audience have those words memorized. But they are, in my opinion, 27 of the most important words in the Constitution and the amendments to the Constitution. For I believe that without the Second Amendment, the very structure of our republic, the very freedoms that we enjoy, the rights that are embodied, the God-given rights that are memorialized and secured by the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, without the Second Amendment, we could not count on or depend upon or be strong in knowing that those other rights will be preserved over time. Now, one thing that I haven't said this morning, it's been my great honor, of course, to serve in Congress now for 6.5 years. But at the end of the current term that I'm serving, I'm coming home. And I announced that on these grounds back in March of this year. But at that same time, I announced that I am running for governor of Tennessee. And I certainly hope to have the chance to earn the support of the people in this room and your friends and your neighbors and your family. But one of the things that I want to say as I conclude today is that if you elect me to be the next governor of Tennessee, the Tennessee Firearms Association, freedom-loving Tennesseans, and supporters of the Second Amendment will have the best friend that you've ever had as governor of Tennessee. And what I will commit to you is that if I am governor, I will look to the Tennessee Firearms Association and John Harris and people in this crowd like Richard Archie to guide me in how I approach the right to keep and bear arms in the state of Tennessee. Many of you are, of course, very familiar with the recent decision by a Tennessee Chancery Court panel in the case of Hughes versus Lee. A great day for the right to keep and bear arms, for the Second Amendment in our state. The court there ruled that the intent to go armed law that the legislature has put in place in Tennessee is unconstitutional. They also determined that the so-called Parks law is unconstitutional, that prohibits you from carrying your weapon, from going armed in a state park or local park. This was a very important decision, and it follows on the recent Supreme Court precedents in Heller and McDonald and Bruin, applying those to Tennessee and concluding that the Second Amendment is the floor for our Second Amendment rights in Tennessee, and that these laws that I previously mentioned are unconstitutional. That would be a great ending to this story, but unfortunately, our Attorney General has decided to appeal that decision to try to uphold the limitations on our rights as Tennesseans. So we will have to see how that court case progresses. But if you elect me as Tennessee's next governor, I promise to you, I commit to you that working with you, we will put in place true constitutional carry in Tennessee. We will work with the legislature to finally remove the intent to go armed statute from our laws. And we will work together to amend the Constitution, Article 1, Section 26 of the Tennessee Constitution, to remove the language that says that the legislature shall have the power by law to regulate the wearing of arms with a view to prevent crime. A part of our Constitution which has already, in my opinion, been overruled by the Supreme Court, but which should be removed from Tennessee law. It is a pleasure to be with you. I hope over the next year you'll give me the chance to earn your vote and support to be the next governor of Tennessee, and it's a great privilege to be with you this morning. Thank you.